When most people think of war, they imagine weapons, explosions, and battlefields. But here's the strange part. Some of the most destructive wars in history were fought without a single bullet being fired. No soldiers marched. No flags were planted. Yet countries collapsed, people were impoverished, and lives were turned upside down. These wars were fought with money. With printing presses. With interest rates. With exchange rates. They are called currency wars. And once you start noticing them, you realize this. Empires didn't rise and fall only by the sword, but by money as well. This isn't just an economics issue. Currency wars decide who gets fed and who goes hungry. Who speaks with authority and who is forced to bow. And yes, they are still happening. Quietly. Silently. But in ways that directly affect the money in your pocket. The logic is actually very simple. Using money as a weapon. Sometimes you deliberately devalue your currency, so your goods look cheaper. Sometimes you flood markets with cheap credit to destabilize your rival. Sometimes you hold gold or reserves and corner those who need them. On paper, this looks like a smart move. In reality, it's the chemical weapon of the economic world. You hit your enemy, but you poison yourself too. Think about the Great Depression. When the stock market crashed in 1929, everyone panicked. Countries had to sell goods just to survive. But no one was buying. So what did they do? They devalued their currencies. Britain abandoned the gold standard. The United States weakened the dollar. Everyone did the same thing at the same time. The result? Trade didn't recover. Life became more expensive. Tensions increased. And the world, without fully realizing it, drifted toward a second Great War. But this story didn't begin in the 1900s. Let's go back to Rome. Rome's power rested on its silver coin, the denarius. Everyone trusted it. But wars were expensive. The empire was At first, no one noticed. A bit less silver, a bit more copper. Over time, the coin looked the same, but it was hollow inside. The result? Inflation. Loss of trust. Collapse. It wasn't only barbarians who destroyed Rome. Rome had rotted from within. In the 20th century, things became more elegant. Instead of tanks, there were central banks. After World War II, the dollar was tied to gold. Everyone else was tied to the dollar. This gave the United States enormous power. It could apply pressure without firing a shot. Force others to kneel without sending soldiers. But even this had a limit. When the US started printing more dollars than it could back with gold, countries began asking, "Give us our gold." In 1971, Nixon pulled the plug. The gold window was closed. That moment opened the door to modern currency wars. In the 1980s, Japan experienced this painfully. Hard-working. Productive. Strong. Then came the Plaza Accord. The yen was deliberately strengthened. Not a single bullet was fired at Japan. Yet its economy struggled for decades. That's how currency wars work. You don't notice them at first. You call it an interest rate decision. A summit. A technical adjustment. But then, factories shut down. Unemployment rises. Savings evaporate. Like the 1997 Asian financial crisis. One currency collapses, and others fall like dominoes. Millions are impoverished overnight. Today is no different. Only the tools have changed. Interest rates near zero. Unlimited money. Sanctions as weapons. With the pandemic, this war accelerated. Massive amounts of money were printed. At first, everyone felt relieved. Then inflation arrived. And the price was paid. Strong countries stayed standing. Weak ones staggered. That is the reality of currency wars. A game everyone is dragged into, willingly or not. Do you know the most dangerous part? Most people don't even realize they are in the game. You notice when a bomb explodes. But when money loses value, the grocery store just gets more expensive. That's why financial awareness is vital. Money is not neutral. It is power. It is control. The winners are not always smarter. They are simply stronger. And the losers are those who realize it too late. History changes. The players change. But the game remains the same. The next time you hear about a currency adjustment, don't think of it as just economics. It's a move. A step in a war. Because in a currency war, you don't need to be a soldier to get hurt.